Hi Skits, it's Albana Blackduck again. I decided to take a break from my ancient Greek homework for the midterm coming up next week to talk about the debates. And see, yesterday I finally sat down and watched the debates and kind of was a little terrified by what I saw anyways. I mean, I'd already had my opinion pretty much decided, like where I was on the campaign and everything, cough cough, um, before the debate, and then the debate kind of was like, yeah, I like voting for someone who has more intellectual capacity than a turkey sandwich, as you put it. Yeah, everyone was talking about it over the weekend and everything, and I decided that it was finally just time for me to suck it up and spend the hour and a half and watch the whole debate together. Luckily, they put it on YouTube, yay. Pretty much, I was really annoyed by everything Palin said. Not only what she said, how she said it, her accent, just everything. I mean, they would ask her a question about anything, and it would always end up going back to Alaska and how she was on for energy independence and oil reform and controlling big corporations. And I'm just like, energy independence does not mean we need to drill more oil. We need to become independent from oil, not independent from other countries who produce oil, because we are consuming a natural resource that doesn't replenish itself at the rate that we're consuming it. It's ridiculous. We need to invest in ways to research and come up with other forms of energy and fuel and things like that. And she's just like, oh, we need to be energy independent and we'll just build a pipeline from Alaska and it's the biggest infrastructure and blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, it's not going to be a solution. Another thing she said was, Palin said that leaving Iraq now would be a white flag of surrender, and I pretty much just kind of started laughing then. So I'm like, no, it wouldn't be a white flag of surrender. We've been there for how many years now? We've trained their troops. They should know how to run their country by now. If we wait until they are ready, then we're going to be there forever. We're going to be there indefinitely. It'll never end. It'll be an eternal occupation in that country. They say that Obama is inexperienced. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, he's only been in the Senate for 2 years now, and so he is pretty young as far as presidents go. But considering Palin is a very weak, fragile heartbeat away from the presidency, I'm more scared of her than I am of anything Obama could do. She doesn't have any experience. She was a hockey mom turned mayor turned city council member turned mayor turned governor of Alaska, which is kind of random. But I mean, she thought her idea of foreign experience was that she could see Russia from Alaska. I'm like, oh. And someone asked her, what was it? Oh yeah, I was watching an interview with her with Charles Gibson, and he was saying how, what other countries outside of the U.S. have you been to? She's like, other than Mexico and Canada? None until this last week when you guys all took me along on a really big trip to the other places. I can't remember which countries she went to. I wasn't paying attention. But pretty much she has no foreign policy experience, and she's just ridiculous. It's very scary. I know a lot of my more Republican conservative friends are completely against Obama for one reason and one reason alone, and this is going to set people off: the fact that he is pro-choice. And I admit, I personally do not agree with being pro-choice. I think that if you are dumb enough to get yourself pregnant and not be responsible enough, if you're responsible enough to have sex, then you should be responsible enough to deal with the consequences if something goes wrong. If you don't take care of yourself and prevent pregnancy, you should not be using abortion as a method of birth control. But I'm not going to use this as a pulpit, even though I probably already have. But I'm just sitting there thinking, guys, you cannot vote for a president based on one policy. You have to think about the global issues. I mean, the things that are going to affect you most directly, the fact that our economy is in turmoil, and the fact that we have people who just want to give tax breaks and tax breaks and tax breaks to the huge corporations and the big oil companies, and they just want to increase taxes on us. I mean, that's so much more important of an issue than the one issue of abortion. I think that people need to step back and realize that abortion is not the end all be all of politics. It's not. I mean, there's he promised no tax increases for people who make $250,000 a year or less, which is 95% of the American population. He has a planned timeline for withdrawal from Iraq, who, by the way, McCain doesn't. He just wants to be there until his generals tell him it's okay to leave. He's open for diplomacy with other countries. He wants to become energy independent by eliminating our need for oil and increasing research into solar and hydrogen power, and in the meantime promoting clean coal facilities. And he promises universal health care for everyone. I mean, to top everything off, McCain is against net neutrality. I mean, I don't know if you guys know about net neutrality. I'll probably find that link and post it in the sidebar. I have no idea where the sidebar is. This is my first time ever pointing to one. Probably over there. It's insane. Like, he is anti-net neutrality. I'm like, okay, well, I like being able to go to the websites I want to go to, so thanks but no thanks, McCain. He doesn't understand how the economy works. He doesn't understand how the internet works. I don't even think he understands how a computer works, really. He's probably like my grandmother and just goes, well, that's the on button, and that's the clicky thing, and if I hit the keys in the right combination, stuff happens. And basically, Biden won, undoubtedly. Palin was pulling facts out of her hoo-ha, made no sense, came out of nowhere. She'd completely pulled them out of nowhere. Like, the fact that he voted 94 times against that one bill, I'm like, or that one topic, I'm like, no, he didn't. And Biden was like, that's an outright lie. Where did you get that from? Okay, I'll finish with this. Basically, one of my friends was like, oh, but Obama voted against an amendment for a bill that would allow babies that were aborted but lived through the abortion to be granted status as humans and are therefore somehow in need of medical protection, that he voted against that. And then as everyone is twisting what actually happened and making it sound like he said, I want to kill babies. I want to kill every baby that's born and from an abortion that doesn't die, and death to babies. And that's not it at all. He voted, and 5 other people in that committee voted against it. There were only 10 people in the committee. 6 of them voted against it, and 4 of them voted for it. They didn't all vote against it because they hated babies. They voted against it because the wording was unconstitutional, and now everyone's construing that and turning it into something about Obama hates babies. But I don't know. It's just frustrating. All I know is I don't want another 4 years of Bush, which is exactly what that would turn out to be, because nothing Palin or McCain have said indicates that they want to do anything different from the way that it's been done for the past 8 years. I've seen the consequences of the past 8 years. This is the prime of my life. I don't want to live through another 4 years of Bush the Third. I'm good. I want change. I want a new environment. I want a world where I'm not worried about if the government screws up, what am I going to do? How am I going to pay for school? How am I going to go to the doctor when I need to? How am I going to be able to get a house once I graduate from college? I mean, these things shouldn't be concerns that I have to have. If we have a government that works the way it should, then we wouldn't have any issues with that. So, thanks, kids. Sorry for the really long response. Bye.